Hi, I'm Cassi Namoda. I am based in New York and I come from Mozambique. For many reasons, it feels like a great honor and privilege because it always felt important for me and my work to be held and represented in the continent in dialogue with other artists from the continent and diaspora, and I felt like the language in this exhibition is an important one. I think it's an honest and authentic depiction of how far we've come. Well, that's a loaded question, but it's really like the way I work. I imagine the canon of art history. So in that frame, I'm looking at all those that have come before me. So it's always a different artist that maybe shows and reveals themselves. It's almost kind of like a haunting in a way. Sometimes it's like, you know, an Emil Nold, or then it's a Malangitana or something. And then also I think authorship from the continent is also really important. That ebbs through me. I think what inspires me is really, it's storytelling, it's narrative, and I think that's such a part of our DNA. Like, it's this sort of ancestral calling to keep story alive. The rest is just kind of knowledge of self and kind of authenticity to style. Without kind of stemming from any point of ego, I think that my work and all my colleagues and everyone, we're important because it will help the next generation. And that's why I think it's really important to come from a place of authenticity, knowing your history, knowing where you come from, and really giving your honest self. And I think that will really inspire the next generation. Yeah, it for me is, it's a universality. It's like to kind of come with the most, you know, I grew up moving around quite a bit, and that for me, I feel this desire to connect with the world, and I think that the world is becoming much more a globalized world, and this sort of universal approach for me is really important. So I like to kind of explore themes that feel that we as a human race can relate to. And in that sense, I'm working from a really individual approach, but because it's such an authentic individual approach, I feel like I can make something really universal. So I like to think about symbolism and spirituality. I like to think about color as a way to connect and feel something. And then in a much more like personal sense, I'm really inspired by like the magical real. It changes from painting to painting, but the use of figuration for me, because I'm interested as well with landscape in order to kind of create some dialogue with the figure. So I think the two work almost harmoniously in painting for me, and I think that makes figuration much more interesting for me. For me, figuration is body language. So I'm sort of looking to relate to a body language that the viewer can also feel some sort of either tension or calmness, or something is exuded through the canvas. I think the goal is to make someone feel something.